Okay, welcome guys. Today we are looking at making a chicken roulade. So before I move on to the chicken, we need to steam our spinach. If you're like me and you don't have a steamer, you can make a steamer at home. So grab yourself a saucepan, put a colander on top, and then you're going to steam your whatever green leafy vegetable you have. So I'm using spinach. My spinach was already frozen, so as you can see, it is pretty wilted already. So I'm just going to literally heat that up. But that's pretty much what you want your spinach to look like, or your green leafy vegetable, whatever you've chosen to use. That's what you want it to look like after you finish steaming it. But mine has just been in the freezer, that's why it's not super leafy. And then when it's steaming, you just need to grab yourself a saucepan lid, place it over the top to keep all the steam in. Now, spinach steams really quickly, so probably 3 or 4 minutes maximum, all you need. Okay, once your spinach is looking really wilted, like mine, you'll see that there are lots and lots of water coming out of this spinach. I want to get rid of that water. So use your tongs to squeeze it out as best you can. And then you're going to move it into a kitchen towel, a tea towel. And you're going to bring up the corners. And we're going to squeeze all of the liquid out of our spinach. So we're going to twist the towel and get all of that spinach, all of that liquid out of the spinach. You might want to let your spinach sit for a couple of minutes so it's a bit cooler, because obviously you don't want to be squeezing up boiling hot water. I left mine to sit for a few minutes first. But you just keep squeezing until you've got the majority of the water out of that towel. So we've steamed our spinach, and if you're either leaving that to cool down before you drain it, you can move on to your chicken. Or you may well have already drained your spinach already. So, chicken breast, defrosted, we're going to put it into a piece of baking paper. If you don't have baking paper, or parchment paper it's sometimes called, you could use cling film or you could use foil. The main point is that when we're going to start to bash it in a second, that's a technical term, it will stick to your chopping board. So basically something that it's not going to stick to. So cling film, foil, baking paper is the best, then cling film, and then foil if you've got no cling film or baking paper. So fold it in half so your chicken is trapped in the middle, and then you're going to need something quite heavy to bash it with. So we're going to tenderize and flatten our chicken breast, and what we're doing is, by doing that, it breaks down the fibres. So what we're doing is we're actually denaturing the fibres in the chicken. So by using force, we're going to break down some of those fibres so that A, we change the shape of the chicken breast so it's flatter, and B, it should be slightly more tender because those meat fibres aren't so long. So you're going to need to get something heavy that you can basically hit your chicken breast with, tenderize it with. So rolling pin, or if you haven't got a rolling pin, use a can. At school we have tenderizing hammers, so if your mum or dad has got a tenderizing hammer, you can use that. Anything that's got a bit of weight to it. And then you're going to literally bash your chicken breast to get it a little bit flatter. Okay, so when you finish tenderizing your chicken, it should be much flatter and it should be much wider as well. Now, I started off with quite a big chicken breast. Yours may not be quite as big as that. The next stage is to crush your garlic. If you haven't got a garlic crusher, then you can just cut it up really finely into lots of small, tiny pieces. And then you also need to do the same with your spinach. So this was my drained spinach. Just chop it up so it's going to be easier to spread along and around. You also need to prepare whatever type of cheese you're planning to use. I've got mozzarella here, cream cheese like Philadelphia works really well, or ricotta, or goat's cheese, or if you haven't got any of those, just a bit of cheddar, parmesan, any cheese that you've got would be really good. If we were in school, we would have actually made our own cheese, and it was a soft cheese like ricotta, but obviously we'll do that next year instead. So you can either grate your cheese or you can slice it, and then what we're going to do is place them inside the tenderized chicken breast. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to start with my cheese. I'm going to roll it up, so I'm going to place my cheese sort of about 1/3 of the way in, and then another 1/3 of the way there. I'm going to put some of this spinach along, and and some of the spinach along there. And a little bit of the garlic, not too much. And then we're going to roll it up. So start with one end of your chicken. Use the baking paper to help roll. So you can literally, if you don't even have to touch the chicken if you don't want to, you can use your baking paper, look. So just roll it up. You want to go super duper tight. So you've got like a really nice roll of chicken. Okay, so once you've rolled up the chicken roulade, next thing is you can lay out. I've got like 3.5 rashers of bacon here, but as long as you've got 3 rashers of bacon, entirely up to you what type of bacon, beef, turkey, pork bacon, it's entirely your decision. So you're going to grab your chicken roulade and you're going to lie it across the top of your bacon. There we go. And you're going to use your bacon to roll it up. So that it is rolled up in the rashers of bacon. Then you're going to stick that into a new piece of baking paper or foil, and you're going to roll that up nice and tight as it will go. Twist the ends, and that goes on a baking tray in the oven for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. So the final stage is, once your chicken has been cooking for 20 minutes, you can unwrap it, take it out of the greaseproof paper, and you can place it into a pan, and you can just dry fry all of the outside until it's this nice golden brown colour. Once golden brown all the way around, you can take it out of the pan, use your tongs to hold it in place, and you can cut nice slices of roulade.